Obviously, we'll start right now with I was at practice yesterday, and I'll tell you what my thoughts were on that. But then also as we get towards here, the actual game itself on Saturday, there's so many things surrounding the game that we have to make you aware of that we'll be getting after, and we're excited about. I'll lead with that, but also note that Rising Spear has obviously been making the rounds this week. Smart of them to do so. I did this interview with them yesterday. It was my great pleasure to do so. Those guys were great and informative, and we'll play that for you at the bottom of the hour. So if you haven't had a chance to hear from the folks at Rising Spear and their NIL efforts, then you're going to learn about it here on the Jeff Cameron Show and what they're doing, and we will play that for you at 1:30, the interview I did with them yesterday. So look forward to that. That's coming up. I also did an interview. I did an interview with Jay Revel. Many of you out there are aware of who he is. He's an author. He works in PR for his career, but he's a kind of a local historian as well, and a guy who's an avid golfer, a really good one at that. And we kind of talked about the Masters and Tallahassee's ties to the Masters, and we're going to play that tomorrow. I did that one yesterday as well. Got an opportunity tomorrow, Tom, to talk to Jamie Robinson. So I'll be talking to Jamie Robinson tomorrow. A lot of interviews this week. A lot of good stuff as we build up towards the spring game and we celebrate the week that is with the Masters starting. Of course, Major League Baseball begins tomorrow, and on Friday we'll be at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Baseball will be on. The Masters will be on. We will have an opportunity to hang out and take questions and meet and greet and have some beers and all that good stuff. That's from the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. Of course, the show will be the show from 1 to 3. We're at Hotel Indigo on site 12 to 3 on Saturday, day of the game. Tom and myself will be doing the pregame show beginning at 1 o'clock. 12 o'clock, like I said, we'll be there. Anybody wants to come on by, say, hey, it'd be great to see you, hang out, talk some Florida State football. And then Tom and I go on the air at 1 o'clock for the pregame show as if it were a regular game, like it is during the season, Tallahassee game day, if you will. Have a good time with that. During the game itself, Tom's putting in the time, baby. It's a Warchant watch-along, and Tom and Gene will conduct that. That goes on for the game itself. And then after the game, a post-game call-in show. I'm going to be intrigued by this. Listen, more content is not a bad thing. Giving people options, not a bad thing at all. Just kind of curious what the response will be, because a spring game can be difficult for a watch along. I mean, I don't envy you guys. You'll definitely do it because you're talented, but it's a hard thing because they don't make it like it's not always like, it doesn't look like a game. There's some things or aspects of it that don't always look like a game.
Yeah, and you're not saved by the fact that there are, 10 to 15 games of note running concurrent to what Florida State's. It's not a fall Saturday.
No.
If it was a fall Saturday, the watch along is an easy thing to do.
Sure.
But I talked to Gene about it this week, and he said, hey, if we've got to fall back on a Masters update or two, it's not the worst thing in the world. I said, you're correct. It is moving day.
Yeah.
I will have moving day up on a television screen, so good idea.
Well, and I think the call-in show will be interesting because people kind of they look at this now as their final chance and opportunity to assess, weigh in, talk about, banty about their idea of where the program is, should be, where they want it to be, and you got to wait. You got to wait until the fall till we get moving. But I will say this: April, in my recollection, is that April flies by because it all builds towards this spring game. You get excited about it. Of course, we got the Jeff Cameron Show / Warchant Invitational coming up on the 15th. We got a lot of things in the coffers that we're excited about. And when you come up for air after that, it's like April 20th. And all of a sudden, you're like, okay, well, we're nearly to May. And you know how goofy I get around May. We take vacation, some of us intermittently in and out. But
hey, that's good news.
Yeah, but also we do start to count the days because summer hits and you realize, like, okay, we're a stage away. We're not that far away. It goes fast.
Well, I can tell you too, with this gig around versus the radio days when it was only radio, you get past July 4th holiday and it's in earnest because the ACC kickoff is not that long after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got preview for camp. I Camp's going to start a little bit early this year because we've got a game on the 27th of August.
And you better prep for that Duquesne game.
Right. So enjoy June is basically what I'm, saying to myself. Enjoy June. July is going to get fast right after the holiday.
Yeah, and June is always on the mind of people because of my birthday. So, like a lot of people are already thinking about June, probably in April. They're probably thinking, Jeff's birthday is coming up. Damn.
You are like a lot of people, though. It's just like a lot of people in one. So yes, a lot of people are thinking about June 11th. Right? Yeah.
All right. So practice yesterday. Mike said afterwards, and it was an interesting practice because it was disjointed. They were trying to have a game over there, a baseball game, and I don't know, they don't have a weather app over there. What's the story?
They delayed first pitch to 5. It was like, well, if you're going to start, let's start earlier.
First of all, if you're going to try to play a game, get a game in yesterday, you should have thrown the first pitch at noon. I mean, what are we doing?
Agreed. Yeah.
What are we doing? The weather app tells you what you need to know. What are we waiting on? Let's go. But whatever.
So did Jayville have to drive over here?
I suppose so. Yeah, they were here. Man. I mean, they had operations, stadium operations were up and running. People were walking around with beers. They had the lights on, the music blaring, everybody's ready to go. And I'm like sitting there going, you guys aren't getting this game in. They played the national anthem. Like, what are you doing? Do you see that thing? It was like pitch black. Like, this is not going to happen. As soon as they finished the national anthem, that's it.
And then what? You were ushered into the IPF at that point?
Yeah. And then we went into the IPF, and you're like, all right, well.
It's your favorite place.
I hate it. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm glad they have it so they can get work done. But it's stuffy. You feel it's on you, man. It's just on you. Oh, that fat guy's breath is all over me. I hate it.
You got to move around from that sideline.
Oh, no, I go straight to the other side now. Yeah. I'm as far away from people.
I'm a wandering soul during those practices.
Still all up in there, man. No.
Is this leftover COVID anxiety?
No,
what's going on here?
I never had COVID anxiety. It's damp and dank and nasty as hell. It just stinks.
It's 8 years old. It's not that old.
Fat, sweaty people every which way. It's Sunday. No, man. We need to be out in the open air. In the open air.
Very different experiences. Well, they have the huge doors open, so you have good, circulation.
There's terrible circulation. There's virtually zero circulation in that building.
World.
Virtually zero. It's awful. But anyhow, I, being a soldier, wanting to get the information for the people, I was there, standing tall, watching every single play in that IPF. And, I thought it was interesting. I think Mike was happy because the intensity was there, Tom, and we're only allowed to relay certain specifics, so I can't get too detailed here. I didn't think it was a great practice. He did. I will concede that I don't know the objective. So, for example, both of us, let's say, or anybody for that matter, no matter how football knowledgeable you are, you don't know every individual's assignment on a play, for example. You understand the concept, but teams can execute those concepts differently and have different responsibilities and leverages based on what they're working on defensively or what the drill is. And so a lot of times, I'll see something and I'll think, well, that was disjointed, didn't work, timing was off, whatever it might be. But he could look at that as a success because maybe they're just looking at a block, a decision made by the quarterback. Or
I don't care if it's a play against us. Just prove to me that you can be here for this purpose.
When you're supposed to do the play, right? Yeah. So that's what I mean. It's kind of like this idea that, all right, well, I'll concede I don't know the objective on that play or what the responsibilities were on that play. So maybe he looks at a play, it fails miserably in terms of gaining yardage, completing the pass, catching the ball, whatever it might be. But everybody did what they were supposed to. Then he's in his mind, he's going, all right, good. They know the concept. They understand the play. They know what they are supposed to do. And that could be a success, admittedly. But in terms of any sort of rhythm or, successful back-to-back-to-back plays or series or anything like that, I don't think you saw a lot of that yesterday. And I think it's because they really are manipulating this offensive line and experimenting with guys. And they've admitted that in post-practice wrap-ups time and again. So I'm not talking out of school. You got a lot of guys playing a lot of different positions, a lot of youthful players that are not going to start this year, who they're trying to get reps with. They're trying to see how they do in certain matchups against first team, second team. In addition, they were holding a couple guys out. They admitted that after practice too. So you got bumps and bruises towards the end of spring football. You're going to hold some guys out, some more serious than others. You just don't know. And so if you don't have your starting offensive line out there consistently because you're juggling or they're holding somebody out for a day or whatever it might be, the bottom line is this. If that group is going against a first-team defensive line, they got zero chance to block them. And I also argue that even when the starters are in there and the guys that I project as starters anyhow on the offensive line, even when those guys are out there, if they're going against the true first-team defense, they are not successful enough to ever really develop, not consistently anyhow, develop any sort of offensive rhythm. So it makes it hard. It's just going to be because that defensive line is legitimately good. It's legitimately good.
Well, it sounds like the defense was in a rhythm then. It's all about perspective. We look at it from offensive perspective, but the defense is...
Oh, the defense is very
since
good.
That Thursday, that fateful Thursday where they got absolutely you-know-what all over.
They did.
Yeah, they have responded. And time and again.
I'm going to tell you, man, I don't think my opinion is that we are not going to be waiting very long at all for Azareye'h Thomas to play meaningful reps. Like, I don't think that we're going to be like, well, maybe mid-season. No, man. Dude is going to play. He's going to play, and I think he's going to play a lot. He is good. Just straight up, no qualifiers. He's good. And that's exciting because it means you hit, obviously, on your assessment, your evaluation, and your recruitment of said player. You got a guy that looks the part, walks the part, thinks the part, and acts the part. He is all of it. When you watch him play, he's just straight up good. And I think he's not good because he's going up against a mediocre receiving core. He's not good because it's by way of comparison to other guys that have played that position recently. And we know Florida State's been down. No, he's just good. You can tell that plays anywhere. So I can't speak more highly of a player that's an incoming player than I can of him. AZ Thomas is a good football player. And it's exciting to watch that. And he's only going to get better, obviously, as he gets more experience. I think Sam McCall, too, will get better and better. He's got a longer way to go in terms of an understanding of what they're trying to do, in my estimation. But the athleticism and the length and all that, that's there.
And the physicality.
Oh, yeah, he's very physical. He's physical enough that you might wonder in time if he becomes a safety. Because I think he's got the body type to be a safety.
They've been asked that question a bunch even when signing day. It was official. But for now, he works at corner, and I think he might be just fine there.
He might. But, yeah, I think he could become a safety.
You could also play in the slot. That's a more physical position to play, too.
Yeah.
Because he's got the range to go up against a taller slot target like a 6'5" receiver or a tight end.
Yeah. Yeah, no, listen, they did well there. You find guys on that side of the ball that they've really done a good job. I mean, in recruiting, if we're just talking about looking at kids and their potential, either some this year, some in the years to follow, listen, you get excited about Lyons. I get excited about Lyons. We both get excited about Bishop Thomas. There are guys out there you look at now, and Hester. I like Hester's body type to be that young. Now,
yeah,
he's not your prototypical end at that size.
He's a college end, though.
Yeah.
That's going to play in college. We'll see if he grows into a different frame.
Yeah,
but
he's a thick kid, though.
He is. Well, and he's quick. He's just deceptively quick. And that was the one thing I found it strange, the argument. Well, not the argument, just the debate you guys were having yesterday on Headlines about the defensive interior. Like, that's the deepest position on the team. I don't know where the concern of depth is for the defensive interior, because a guy like Daniel Lyons could contribute right now for 5 to 10 reps a game. He doesn't have to have the fundamentals. Sometimes you don't. If you just know how to whip a guy, you know how to beat a guy. Mm-hmm. And if it's 7 reps against LSU, and it gives Lovett or Cooper a much-needed breather, and Robert Cooper is going to need more of those than Fabian Lovett will, then that's invaluable for your first year.
That was Corey's concern. I don't necessarily feel that way. He does. I think if you're having – listen, I will begin and end my concerns, even though there are other places I could direct my overriding worry. I will begin and end my concerns with this offensive line, man. I'm just telling you, I don't believe in them. I don't think they're good. And I'm worried about depth. And that group up front has got to take a big step forward and soon, Tom. I'm tired of this talking point. I'm tired of seeing it. It's driving me nuts. And of course, that doesn't solve the problem. And the world doesn't stop and start with my concerns. But that is my concern, dude. We cannot have this group up front be what I think they are. And I think they are at best, with everybody healthy and everybody starting as they should, average. At best, maybe. That is my – now, there are plenty of people who might disagree with that. Mike Norvell might disagree with that. But my thought is they're not good up front on the offensive line. I don't think they are. And
it'll be a long summer with that talking point.
It is. And you bring up the point to me a lot, and you're not wrong on this. And this isn't even me being negative. This is just a fair-minded assessment of that group. You can get better. Guys can get stronger and get better. This camp has been a big part of that.
We believe in Alex Atkins to do that too.
Well, and I love him as a coach. One doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the other. I think their problem has less to do with an understanding of how to play the position, a scheme issue. No, none of that. Coach Atkins is a great coach. I feel very good about the fact that he's here, and I got no problems with him. I think it's the clay they're working with, man. I just think it's the clay they're working with. I mean, you are not going to make a beautiful sculpture with what they have to work with right now.
I think also, and this is, you got to be real careful here, but in my assessment, I don't know that they're running the offense that they'll run in the fall because they're experimenting with what works and what doesn't. Mm-hmm. As in, their playbook is open wider. They want to see what they can do rather than siphon it down to perfect what they know they can do.
Yeah. No, it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress.
I think some of the things these guys are being asked to do is about fact finding, and they're learning in a bad way. Here are the facts. You can't run an offense straight up like you want to run, but you're going to be better at what you did last year because Jordan's better, the receivers are better, and the offensive line as a whole has improved. It's just that you can't run 3 yards in a cloud of dust if you want to do that. So these angles that you're trying to create, you could do so with better proficiency, and you have a quarterback who's got a much calmer head on his shoulders than he did, say, September of last season. So all these things are going to portend of more excellence and explosive plays on offense. It's just, if you wanted to run it like we're going to be able to run it in 2 or 3 years, if you're an optimist about where we're going, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
You think the offensive line's improved?
Yes.
I'm not sure I agree. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Here we go. Your next chance to grow your green this spring and win $1,000 is coming up at 2 p.m.
I just won $1,000.
Listen for the keyword at the top of the hour. Then enter that keyword online at realtalk93.com.
Hey, Noles fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Let's be honest, we all have way too much stuff. Maybe your storage closet is full, your garage is full, or the guest bedroom is a mess. Call Southeast Portable Buildings, 580-6400, or visit them online at southeastportablebuildings.com.
I'm Paul.
I'm Paul.
I'm Paul.
Actually, all of us that have the privilege to work at Paul's Termite and Pest Control are Paul.
We're proud to call ourselves Paul because we work for a company that puts our customers first. We love what we do, and we love the principles our company demands.
Give our customers more than they expect and do everything within our power to keep them safe and comfortable.
We make a difference every day and know we protect the health of our thousands of North Florida customers that we are honored to call our friends.
And we're looking to bring a few more Pauls to our growing family. We have several openings now or in the very near future. Positions include termite, lawn, and general pest techs, route managers, inside sales, and customer service reps. Visit callpauls.com to see what's available and to find out how to apply. Every Pauls receives competitive pay with outstanding benefits, including health insurance, 401k, paid leave time, and holidays.
I'm Paul.
I'm Paul.
I'm Paul.
And you could be Paul, too, for the elimination of termites and other pests.
And a greener lawn, too. Call Paul's. We've been getting them all in North Florida for over 50 years.
Are you hungry and looking for a new way to save some money? Ditch the expensive bites and eats for delivery options. Ordering food from your favorite local restaurant just got easier. Choose foodiestakeout.com to save 10% when you order from select local restaurants today. Text Foodies to 230-9456 and get 10% off your first order at foodiestakeout.com. Don't wait. Do it now and save. Text the word Foodies to 230-9456. Shop local and save at foodiestakeout.com.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Cameron Show is sponsored by the legendary team at Hamilton Home Loans. Great rates, cutting-edge technology, and transparent communication is the recipe for a 5-star mortgage experience at FSUHomeLoans.com.
Board members of Rising Spear. And it was good to talk to both Lance and Matthew. And you know, I think, honestly, we've kind of a fact-finding mission of our own there. Just asking how things work.
If you've seen the interview with Wake Up and Corey Naslon did earlier in the week, this has a couple of different questions, principally different questions. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't just a complete redux. For, you know, obviously the audience that consumes all things Noles.
Sure.
So we get into some fun stuff about how the sausage is made, kind of.
Yeah. Again, Lance was great. Matthew was great. And we appreciate their time. I don't know if I could do much more this segment than to expand or expound on what I said as we went to break and then quickly move out of the way so we come back and play this interview. I'll just say this again, you know, there's some guys that are in and out of the lineup right now. So I want to make that abundantly clear about the offensive line. I'm not going to get specific. I'm just saying that there are guys that are there some days, not other days. Some guys miss time. Other guys come back just as another guy is forced to miss a day or whatever it might be. Right. And again, we're not allowed to talk about injuries. So, you know, suffice to say that it's a football camp and people get dinged and they miss time. And then so the problem is they lack depth. And because they lack depth, if a starter, God forbid two, has to miss any time in these practices on the offensive line, they can't play. They can't. That's how thin they are in terms of ready to play right now, big time college football offensive linemen on the roster. And if I could just say, it is exhausting to have this conversation again. It's not, I mean, I'm not like pointing the finger at any one person. It's just, damn it, man, with this. I am so tired. We really thought that we were going to get to a place and quickly where this is not the talking point, the omnipresent in perpetuity talking point about Florida State football.
We're getting to a place where it isn't. They brought in 5 that, listen, if you look at Daughtry Richardson and Kanaya, and what their raw abilities are, they ain't playing this fall, but you look at what their raw abilities are, it looks like the evaluation is good on the offensive line, just as it is for the newcomers on defense who are going to contribute right away. Different position, different ramp up to being college ready, Power 5 ready. But if you've got 3 more on the way that are highly rated, then perhaps next year you can roll out and do a youth movement with redshirt freshmen who are ready to go, at least 1 or 2 of them. That's going to help fortify the ranks.
But again, we're having the conversation about not this upcoming year, the following year. And we've been having that conversation for a long pre-Norvell.
But do you think that the actual substance of the cavalry on the way was as real as it is now? I'm not apt to believe that. I think this time, with Atkins and Norvell's ability to circle the players they want, I think they've hit, at least from the indication of the 2 EEs. I'm like, okay, well, if the rest of them look like that, you're going to have 2 of them ready to go next year, I would think.
Yeah, and let me answer a couple questions here. Briley says that, we got to withhold judgment until we get to the fall. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I mean, they don't have to go play a game tomorrow. If they did, they'd be screwed on the offensive line. They'd be screwed. If they played anybody with a pulse defensively with this offensive line as currently constructed with some people in and out of the lineup.
And Norvell went on record saying that Darius Washington is likely not going to play on Saturday and he'll be back likely in the summer.
Right. So yeah. A key member of your starting offensive line won't be there this Saturday, we don't think. And, he's missing time. And if that happens, then, that's a big hit because they don't have a viable player right now that you say, okay, well, to replace him, we'll put this guy here and everything's okay. Well, everything's not okay. I think Bless Harris can play. So, that was a good get. But they're going to need their starters. They're going to need those guys to stay healthy, and you hold your breath because I don't think they're going to be as deep as we had hoped that they'd be. And that's disconcerting because it's a position where injuries happen. And obviously in the trenches, you do need depth, and that's just worrisome.
Well, I think the solution you're looking for is more guards. At this point, I've gone from you need a tackle to no, why are we even messing with this? If you've got Scott, Washington, and Harris as your 3 tackles, and you've got potential development solutions with an Estes or a healthy Schrader as an emergency backup. If you can go get a guard in between now and the fall,
best
at least
player
one
available on the offensive line is who I'm going to get.
Correct. But now if I could have my druthers and it was 50-50, first I'd take both, but it would be a guard.
I was talking with a fellow member of the beat yesterday, and we were going back and forth about, because right now, as you round camp, when camp rounds up and it's almost over, everybody, what's on their mind is, okay, team's better, really like this guy and that guy, individuals that have stood out in camp we can all agree on, certain other players that are newcomers that you're excited about. And so there are plenty of aspects of this team that have gotten better and that I am excited about. But you watch, and then everybody goes, well, what do you think they need? Camp's over. That's it. What do they got to go get? And you compare your notes, because what you're comparing is what you thought going into camp and then where you're at now. We thought going into camp you might need to go get a quarterback. Now, I'm pretty sure all of us would agree they don't need to go get a quarterback. They're going to be all right.
Especially at the expense of a roster spot for an extra offensive lineman.
Right. So you say, you know what? Don't go get a quarterback. They're going to be all right there. They're not going to be world beaters at quarterback, but you don't need to go get anybody. Plus, it'd be hard to find somebody who fulfills that role of the guy that
Not before you need another linebacker. Not before you need an offensive line.
So the game you and I played on Monday was, okay, you got 3 or you got 5. What's 4, whatever you got, right? What are you getting? And I played that game yesterday with a fellow media member, and they said, would you be opposed to getting 4 offensive linemen? I went, no, I'm good with that. You can go do that. If there were 4 good ones available, I'm not talking about slappies. I'm saying, like, you go get 4 guys that can come in and play at the same level or anywhere close to the same level that Dylan Gibbons did. Oh, yes, sign me up.
That'd be the luckiest transfer portal sequence of all time.
But it's not, but you can start thinking that way these days. You never could have in the past, but it does exist. I mean, you just brought in Bless Harris, and he's better than you thought he would be right off the bat. Gibbons you got after spring last year, and he came in and was the best offensive lineman you had. They exist. There's a couple of them out there. Kids do get pissed. They do want to leave. They do find out after spring football they're not going to start, or this wasn't what they thought it was going to be, and they're ready to leave. Find those kids.
I'm sure we can expand on this in the coming days, and certainly the pregame show on Saturday. Lord knows there'll be enough time on Warchant TV to talk about this.
Yes, yeah.
Now that it's likely given what Mike said yesterday, post-practice, that Darius Washington is done for the spring. I don't like him at guard. He's a better tackle than he is at guard, I think. Now, perhaps there's some seasoning that could be done in the summer, and in fall camp, it's a long camp. So maybe there's development to come, but I think he looks much better at tackle than he does at guard. So that's why I'm thinking go shopping for a guard. I don't know about this versatility that they're all talking about. I don't know. Perhaps it's a tough ask because you're going against Lovett and Cooper every day. But to some degree, but it's a different position. It's not exactly the same.
Yeah, and in fairness, I do legitimately think that Big Coop is going to have a big year, and I think Lovett is a beast, and I do think there's talent on this defensive line. So they're not getting whipped by bums. They're getting whipped by some really quality players. So that is in fairness. But, you're going to face some of those.
The other thing is in the transfer portal, it can be helped by an NIL organization, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's not just for high school kids.
I see you serving it up. I do want to say this, Eric, I saw your post and your contribution. I will circle back and get to your question and read it and all that good stuff when we have a chance to talk. Same with everybody else that has been weighing in here. No, we really do appreciate it. It's just I'll have to. Well, John just said Atkins will get this offensive line figured out. Trust the process. I trust the process. I just need better players. I need better clay to work with. Atkins will get it figured out. I just need him to have better players to work with. So let's get to the getting. Coming up next, my interview conducted yesterday morning with the fine folks from Rising Spear. You'll get, I think, some real inside information and insight into how they work, how they operate, what their goal is. It's all coming up next. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
The Treehouse Children's Advocacy Center wants you to remember that child abuse can happen in any neighborhood and a child you know may be a victim. In 2021, the center helped 156 children suffering from abuse. 74% of those cases included reports of sexual abuse. When a report of child abuse comes in, they perform forensic interviews and forensic medical exams. The Treehouse Children's Advocacy Center is encouraging everyone to participate in Child Abuse Awareness Month by planting a blue pinwheel to show your support. Leon County says there is a new traffic pattern on South Magnolia Drive as the roads improve project moved to its next phase. The county says the project is one step closer to completion, and South Magnolia Drive is expected to fully reopen by late summer 2022. The stretch of South Magnolia Drive between South Monroe and Meridian Streets has reopened to the public. The area of South Magnolia Drive between South Meridian and Pontiac Drive will continue to stay closed. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Scattered thunderstorms likely this afternoon, otherwise overcast skies. Highs around 82, south winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Scattered thunderstorms likely tonight, lows dip down to about 63, cloudy skies expected. Slight chance for scattered rain showers tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 75, clear skies and quiet. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 76.
Now go call Seminole Glass. They'll get on the road and get it done fast.
Your local family-owned glass company, serving the Big Bend for over 15 years. At Seminole Auto Glass, we care about your safety. Insurance will send you wherever it benefits them, not the quality of service. There's a difference in auto glass companies. Trust your local auto glass experts. Seminole Auto Glass.
They handle any kind of broken glass, and you know who they are.
Better call Seminole.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Of 97 patients, 33 are vaccinated, and 63% are considered incidental.
See, this is what I'm upset about. He's basically made up the percentages to look like it's at 100%, but the two are not related to each other.
What's 37% of 97?
It's 35.89.
So why in the hell can't he literally ask iPhone, include that in his articles?
Maybe he's got an Android.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3.
Welcome back, Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV. All right, so we've all speculated and talked about a lot of what Florida State has to do. How does Florida State get in the game, given that NIL is the real deal? This is where we are. This is the new reality. Well, thankfully, it does look like Florida State has an organization that is taking the bull by the horns and making it happen. Rising Spear is that organization. You'll see them throughout this week and the build up to the spring game, of course. RisingSpear.com is the unveiled website that I would invite you to go check out right now and go kind of do what I did, which is navigate that and have some fun with it and kind of learn what they're all about. But joining me to talk about what they're about and how they got started and what their goals are, Matthew Quigley, Lance Barton, directors on the board there with Rising Spear, and they join us now on the Jeff Cameron Show. Good day, gentlemen. Good to have you both on board here, and I hope this finds you doing well.
It's a beautiful day in the nation.
Jeff, we can't thank you enough. You know, it's the time to rise for Florida State. We need all the fans to hit RisingSpear.com.
Well, we're all Noles here, and we all want the same thing. We want Florida State to do well. We want Florida State to be able to compete. And we want Florida State back in their rightful place, obviously, amongst the nation's elite football programs. I want to know big picture stuff. You've probably had to answer this a lot, but, with each new show that you do, different audience and some more people on board. How did you come together? How did this get started? Talk a little bit about the genesis of Rising Spear.
Matt, let me take that. So I was invited to be on the board of Rising Spear by Bob Davis and Alan Flummenhoff probably 8 months ago. And I think they wanted just some leadership out in the field, outside of Tallahassee, maybe bridging some age gaps, et cetera, with a lot of connectivity in the alumni space and in the enthusiastic football space, which I think all of us are in. We started to get some traction last fall. I found Matt Quigley. He found me, who's on this call with us, obviously. And Matt's really taken a leadership role in this crowdfunding Rising Spear groundswell effort that we're getting behind this week and will carry on into perpetuity. There's a lot of Seminoles out there. God knows there's over 300,000 alumni, and there's less than 10,000 that are boosters. And if there's ever been a time that we need boosters, it's now. And one of the challenges we've always had with FSU has always been the proximity or lack thereof of Tallahassee after you graduate. So do you stay connected or not? Do you move back home to Miami? I think when I was there from 88 through 92, half the school was from Miami. Do they come back to games anymore? They stay passionate. And therefore, do they contribute and do they participate in what it takes to be successful? And we all know how that's changed in the last 10 months. And so our goal in the genesis is really to get a groundswell, a base that has got phenomenal bandwidth around the state and all over the U.S. And there's a lot of folks that are on your website, Jeff, and they're on others, and they always check out recruiting and they love the whole process. They get involved by it, and then they get totally engaged on signing day. It's the other season, as we all know. It's the game you got to win on Saturdays in the fall, and we're trying to engage all those folks. And so, Matt joined our board here about 4 or 5 months ago. He's done a tremendous job. This week's a big week. I'll let Matt fill you on some of the details, but we're going social media, we're going podcasts, we're going WebExes, we're doing conference calls like we're doing right now. So it's an exciting time for Rising Spear.
Well, I'll be blunt. I always am. You guys cut to the chase. I like that so far from recognizing what you've organized here. And that is, the reality is, hey, look, the state law may have hamstrung the schools in the state a little bit. I don't want to go down that road and talk about that. We know what that is. It's unfortunate. We'll see if it gets changed down the line. But you soldiered through that out of love of school and passion for the programs. And basically, this is a group that you guys aren't making any money off of this. And I think that's what a lot of people want to see. They want to see, like, okay, well, if I donate, if I become a member, if I become a $500 a month guy, if I'm any of these things that they would want, where's my money going? Well, it's going to the student athlete, 100%. That's where it's going. You're not making money off of this. Am I correct in stating that?
Yeah, you're spot on, Jeff. There's zero revenue being made, right? We are extremely fortunate that our co-founders and our board of directors have stepped up to the plate, and they are covering all basically of the administration costs, as well as the Zimmerman Agency. They've donated a ton of time in developing our website Curtis Zimmerman and his team were phenomenal, as you can see. So we can't thank them enough. Our board of directors completely stepping up, covering all the admin costs. So 100% of the funds that come in are going to the student athletes.
Now I want to ask you, as we'll continue to flash the website and tell people how they can be involved. And it is a big week. Obviously, we all get excited about the spring game. We want to watch Florida State climb and get back to where they are. We're all going to be in attendance, and there are special benefits for people that are donors and are members of Rising Spear. All of that I know we can get into. But I'm curious, like everybody else. So I'm a huge college football fan. Obviously, our passions lie with the Noles. But it's been the wild, wild west, as most people have coined this. How do you guys decide? So, okay, we've got successful businessmen, we've got alumni, boosters, passionate members of the Florida State community that are involved in this. They're not making money. So we're trying to build up a base of money that is going to go to players and eventually procure deals and those kinds of things. How do you decide who gets what? What are the percentages? Who's in that room making those decisions? If there's a player, we know of a certain player, for example, that Florida State had a commitment from. That player, the last second, decided to go somewhere else. We now know that player may have received somewhere in the neighborhood of over $1 million to do that. How do you guys decide who gets what, and how is that divvied up in terms of this player is more important than that player and we more marketable? Sorry, that's a big, broad question. Either one of you are free to answer that and add to our understanding of it.
So I'm going to let Lance was pretty integral in that recruit that you were speaking about in procuring a deal for him that was unfortunately not able to be presented. So I'm going to let Lance kind of speak on that.
Excellent.
Well, it is the Wild West. It's funny, you have salary caps in every professional sport, but college football has gotten crazy, right? And honestly, we were late to the party. I mean, and we're FSU. We like to do things the right way, the compliant way, and which sometimes means you're slower than some of your competition. Plus, we got some issues in Florida that are going to challenge us on speed to market and speed to understanding. Travis Hunter was a very interesting situation. We had a dynamic opportunity for him for an energy drink that was significant in size, and we're talking 6 figures a year contract for him. It was going to be him and a well-known running back in the NFL that were going to be the spokespeople. That were going to be the endorsed spokespeople. Obviously, that did not come together. There was. It was a harsh lesson of the new world. And it was, for me, it was and maybe it was naivety, but it was a lesson on a little bit of the disingenuous nature of the business. And because let's face it, it's a business. And I've always, I grew up in the Bobby Bowden world, and it's in our DNA that we do really well in living rooms, and Bobby Bowden sells parents and kids on a family, fatherly experience, shepherdship at Florida State, and that always worked for us. And then we had a nice run with Jimbo, and we kind of had a bit of a bell curve there, and so here we are trying to figure it out again. And the landscape, if you ask me, the teams that were doing it the Bobby Bowden way, and we were probably on a small list of those, I think we're not as prepared as those teams that were doing it a different way. I mean, I don't mean legal or illegal, just a different way. So, that was an unfortunate situation. It'll be interesting how that plays out long term, and if that marriage in Mississippi is there for 4 years or 3 years or 1 year or whatever happens. But we're prepared, and we've got corporate partnerships, we've got opportunities as we get organized. To your point, Jeff, about who's who earns what. I mean, our boys need to do good by doing good. And I don't mean good in the football field. I mean, they need to do good by being out in the community. They need to be good student athletes. They need to be good representatives of Florida State University. And I think if we keep that mantra, there's a lot we can teach them in this process. I mean, FSU is an entrepreneurial school. We have the School of Entrepreneurialism, and every FSU alumni I know is an entrepreneur at heart, and that's kind of how we came out of that university with a lot of swag. And we're going to teach these kids that same stuff. It's called capitalism, and I think this will be a fun deal. It's just navigating, to your point. It's not an exact science. We're kind of reactionary. We want to be as proactive as we can for the right players, the right athletes, the right representatives of themselves and of our university and our program. And I think we're getting there. Matt, you got any more to add on that?
Just to kind of address, Jeff, the I guess the player by player specifics of a deal, right? That's really going to be determined by the market. So in that Travis Hunter scenario brought to us, right, this deal for him, that was determined by the market, and that's how all of these are going to go with Rising Spear. It's not this is market by market determination.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. And we're all learning as we go here. We're all trying, and that's why I wanted you guys to illuminate that, because I think a lot of people sit out there and think, I don't know where to start. I think it's fascinating. You brought up something, Lance, and really I'm getting to the core of all this. You guys didn't sit around. Florida State may have been naive. We may have all been naive, but the reality has hit us hard as Noles that if you want to bring in good players, you have to have these kinds of deals in place to bring them in. No longer is this, hey, this is a wonderful place to live. Put your arm around them. By the way, God and country and all that. That's great. You got to have deals for the top end players. That's the way this works. And so it sounds like you've cut through all of that. You guys have accepted that reality. You've started this group. I wonder this, and Lance, you brought it up. How long does that deal last? Maybe a year, maybe 2 years. Well, wait a minute. If I give money and I'm a part of this and I'm passionately involved in wanting Florida State to succeed, so I'm going to do that and I'm going to join and I'm going to be a member at Rising Spear. Well, then what if a kid comes here and we get him the great deal and he decides, screw it, a year and a half later, I'm out? How does this work for a situation where a guy decides to leave? Does it stipend over 4 years? I know he has to be on campus to get the deal. I'm just kind of curious from that standpoint, what happens if somebody decides to transfer?
Yeah. I think for a lack of better legal terms, the deals are going to be in place as long as the relationship's in place, right? As long as they're Florida State and they're representing the entity that is paying them for their name, image, and likeness, or they're doing good by doing good through Garnet, they're going to the Boys and Girls Clubs and things like that, then and they're earning their fair wage and their compensation, the deal will be there. It's a fascinating evolution, and we're still evolving. Obviously, we got boosters and people that own companies all over the state, all over the country that want to help. But they're not sure how. I'm not sure what value they're going to get. One of the challenges we've always had is that Tallahassee it's got businesses in Tallahassee, but I'm in Tampa. Matt's down in South Florida. We got guys in Atlanta, guys in New York, guys in Chicago. It's amazing the representation we have around the country, and they have to find value in a name, image, and likeness of an athlete at Florida State. So how does that work? And it's a different deal than if you're in Atlanta and you got a guy at Athens. If you're in Birmingham, you got a guy in Tuscaloosa. If you're in Miami, you have a kid in Miami. So, that presents a little bit of a value challenge, but there's so much enthusiasm. We're getting so much interest and incoming calls about how a player can represent their business. Let's figure it out. Let's do something that makes economic sense for everybody. And let's get the right players, Tallahassee. It's in our DNA. You mentioned it's kind of who we are. The university, I don't think the university's ever been in better shape than it is right now. You look at, I know Dr. McCullough personally. He's unbelievable. He's going to be a great president. Peter Collins, chair of board of trustees, one of my best buddies, will do a phenomenal job in that role. I know Mike Alford is going to do a phenomenal job as AD, and Norvell is the right guy. So Seminole Nation that's not sure and this, that, and the other, he is the right guy to take this program where it needs to be. He's got to get players. And Bobby Bowden said it best: it's not X's and O's all the time, it's Jimmy's and Joe's. And we need them. So, so we're figuring it out. Jeff has a long-winded answer, but we're figuring it out.
It's good. It's good. It's a good answer. It's thorough. To the point, risingspirit.com. You mentioned Garnet. Explain this to folks who haven't gone to the website and don't know the structure. There's the gold membership. There's the Garnet membership. One is obviously a charitable donation. Another, obviously there's tax-free benefits. There's all of this. Talk a little bit about those two parts of Rising Spear.
Yeah, this is where I really think, Jeff, right, that our co-founders and our board of directors really found out a way for the perfect solution for the NIL fund, right? Because we have fans that hate NIL. Bob Davis, right, our co-founder, is not a fan of NIL. He told that to Aslan and Corey on Monday morning.
But he's a realist.
He understands we need it, right, to compete for national titles. Mm-hmm. So in doing so, we set up two different funds. Our Garnet Spirit, which is a charitable donation. We team up with the Boys and Girls Club of the Big Bend, Special Olympics, Best Buddies. We team up with these local charities, and our players show up right at their events or their clinics that they're putting on, so that side of Rising Spear is a charitable donation. The other side is your typical NIL fund, right? That's the gold standard membership, right? And right now we really want those $250 and up a month donors. I understand it's a big number right now. We're offering some really special member benefits. So on Friday night, we're going to be at Rooftop above Madison 51. We're going to have a incredible reception there. Our alumni advisory board, who, you guys check out the website. I mean, you got Derek Brooks, Charlie Ward, Jalen Howell. I mean, we got Megan King. Our alumni advisory board is awesome. Casey Weldon's on it. And then on Saturday, if you're a $500 and up a month donor, you will receive access to our box suite. Once again, due to our board of directors. I mean, it's an incredible benefit that nobody else in the country is offering this right now. Florida State, Rising Spear, this is the only NIL fund that is offering these kind of benefits.
Yeah, and people can look. The website's fantastic. I'll say that unsolicited. I enjoyed navigating that and learning more about the process. And you are talking about something that is different than other organizations involved in NIL, and that really does separate you, the Garnet part of that. I find all of this fascinating. And thank you for illuminating this, guys. I know you've got a lot of shows to do. I appreciate you doing this one. As always, go Noles. Lance, Matthew, you guys have been great. You've answered what I needed to know, and I know you'll come back on and do it again if we have further questions down the line. But let's get everybody out there to risingspear.com and help the Noles get back to where they want to be. Guys, be well. Have a good rest of the week, and thanks for doing this.
Jeff, can't thank you enough. You've always said, right? You want the Bama training table, right? Yeah. Which we got Body by Storms.
Yeah.
And now we got Rising Spear, baby, right?
Yeah.
I've been listening to you for a while, so we finally got those 2 points.
Let's be good.
All hands on deck. See you, Jeff. Thanks, buddy.
Later, guys.
See you guys.
This is Kyle, Service Manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry bucks to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186.
Choose Hearth & Patio for custom fireplaces, maintenance, outdoor grills, kitchens, fire pits, lighting, and so much more. Check out all of Hearth & Patio's options online at hearthpatiotallahassie.com. Hearth & Patio, they keep the home fires burning.
I'll never forget
that moment.
As long as I live.
My first call ever as a member of the National Guard.
When we got to the armory, they briefed us on the wildfires. They were getting dangerously close to homes.
Helicopters were going out to drop water on the fires.
Guys in the unit were preparing for firefighting with local fire crews.
At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Florida National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Here we go. It's time for a chance to grow your green and win $1,000 cash plus a shot at a $10,000 grand prize. Here's your new keyword.
Pay. P-A-Y. Pay. P-A-Y. Pay.
Enter that word now at realtalk93.com, and you might be the next winner.
Holy cow, thank you. Oh my God.
I just won $1,000.
Hey, this is Monica. Hey, this is Elizabeth, and I just won $1,000. All right.
More of the Jeff Cameron Show is coming up next after this town hall news break on WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
Breaking news this hour at townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington.
The atrocities on display, especially in recent days, necessitate that the U.S. use its
full sanctions power, including comprehensively limiting Russia's ability to profit from oil and gas sales. We are not sanctioning energy-related transactions. We need to do so now.
That's House Financial Services Committee member, GOP Congressman Andy Barr of Kentucky. He says while the U.S. and its allies have imposed some sanctions, more should be done. New sanctions were announced from the U.S. today aimed at Russia over its war in Ukraine, the latest targeting Vladimir Putin's 2 adult daughters for the country's war crimes in Ukraine. The World Health Organization reports a number of coronavirus cases reported globally has dropped for a second consecutive week. Rita Foley reports the agency is urging guarded optimism.
The World Health Organization is warning countries not to drop their COVID-19 protocols too quickly and predicted that future variants could spread easily if surveillance and testing systems are shelved.
And the WHO says it's taking the reported lower cases with a grain of salt since many countries have stopped widespread COVID-19 testing. Authorities say one person is dead in Georgia, another in Texas amid damaging storms, high winds, and tornadoes in the south.
There may have been upwards of a few dozen tornadoes from parts of Mississippi, Alabama, into Georgia and South Carolina.
That's Jared Geyer at the National Weather Service. During a House Energy and Commerce Subcommittee hearing, Republican Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers pushing back against Democrats' claims that oil companies are ripping off the American people with high gas prices.
This is not the Putin price hike or the result of companies suddenly deciding to make money in 2022. This is the Biden price hike.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
I'm about to compare a pepper shaker to a cash-out refinance. Hang with me. You know when you're at a restaurant and they ask, would you like some fresh ground pepper? And then they crank that giant tube, but almost nothing comes out? For me, only a certain amount of time is socially acceptable to wait. I know that getting that pepper out might make my life better, but it just seems too impossible. And that's what we hear people say about the cash-out refinance. People realize that the value of their home has gone up like hot pepper the last few years, leaving all this extra money sitting inside their home. But is it too hard to get out? It's Ryan from United Faith Mortgage. If you're interested in cashing out the extra pepper in your home, we're good at doing all the work while you just sit back and relax. And often, your mortgage payment and years in the loan will stay the same. If you'd like to hear about your options,
we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Middle Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996. Refreshing and simple. 2 words you don't hear many people use to describe their experience going through the process of getting a home loan. That's what puts the Hamilton Home Loans experience in a category all their own. If you're buying or refinancing a home, Hamilton Home Loans will provide a personalized mortgage experience that is dedicated to making the process refreshingly simple. It all begins with an initial consultation with an experienced Hamilton Home Loans advisor to find out what your goals are in order to find the right mortgage to suit your specific needs. Then, your personal home loan advisor will take you through all the steps from application, underwriting, approval, and closing, all the way to the front steps of your new home. Once you've experienced the Hamilton Home Loan process, you can be a customer for life and never have to pay lender fees again. For first responders, nurses, physician assistants, teachers, active and retired military, ask about the Hamilton for Heroes program. Personalized attention with your needs put first. Now that's refreshingly simple. Find out more at HamiltonHomeLoans.com. That's HamiltonHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 200719.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
the menu choice there, Tom, from Hideki Matsuyama?
I did.
Wow.
I think that would appeal. There's something for everybody on that menu.
That is amazing. Good on you. I love that guy anyhow. Apparently he's universally beloved on tour. Seems like a hell of a guy. But man, last night I'm watching live from the Masters, and you're getting your thoughts on all of the players. I love it. I love it. I can't get enough of it.
Everything about the music is good too.
I watch the repeats. Yeah, you're like, ooh, there's a sense of urgency here. Yeah,
they know how to use the strings.
Look at that. They're on the range. So yeah.
Usually the violin is more about beauty than urgency, but they nail it.
They do. So I watched that, and they went back to last year's Masters, and they showed him closing it out. I'd forgotten about that tender, respectful, beautiful moment where his caddy walked over and bowed.
He's not ready for that.
Woo!
When that happens, breathtaking.
You got me. Well, they highlighted it. They said it was almost by accident. That producer, the director, and the cameraman. I mean, the cameraman, it was kind of a one-off. Everybody was following Matsuyama, who was shaking hands and about to, and that, for whatever reason, that cameraman was like, this is going to be special. And one of the cameramen just followed him back to watch him put the flag. And then he did that, and everybody went, it was beautiful. I watched that last. I was like, why is this choking me up? That's beautiful.
Yeah,
why? It was just.
That cameraman was like our pal Gary seeing Cam Newton.
Oh, yeah.
And Tim Tebow. Oh, this is going to be. Oh, my.
Well, no, I mean,
give me Miami.
Don't go and ruin it. No, it was beautiful. It was just amazing. Anyhow, so good on you, Matsuyama. The Masters Club dinner last night was, wish I could have had it. It looked good. Everything, top to bottom. I was like, look at my man kicking ass straight across the board here. I also laughed today. I mean, you got to imagine this will be one of the most watched Masters ever because Tiger's playing in it out of nowhere, I might add, that he's playing in it. And I thought it was funny today. He went out early with JT, and as soon as they finished, it poured. Like everybody else, you don't get to practice today. The man gets to practice today.
Only me, and a select group of my friends. They're not really my friends, though. They just use me.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm getting more and more excited as you and I are in the same pool, and I've got to get my guys in. I got to get my picks in. I haven't done it yet.
Matthew and I were discussing, the cut line, how many no doubt players there are this year, and I think it's fewer than most years. Usually, there's 8 or 9 no doubters on a team of 12, but you can really only whittle it down to 5 or 6 dudes.
Well, they're dudes that are built for this course, and then you don't trust them to win a damn thing anywhere else this year. That you're like, do I take them just for this run?
Right. Yep.
Because they're not going to compete at all at the British. There's nobody here on this list, whatever it might be. That guy can't compete at the U.S. Open.
Hey, the Sergio could pull a Fred Couples and get you a top 10 this week, and it wouldn't be stunning.
Right. But
he's played pretty well.
But are you really going to take Sergio? Because, how much do you trust him to even make cuts of significance moving forward at the other majors?
That's the play. I mean, you would do it with Bubba Watson in years past. He would not make the cut this year, but 5 years ago, you take Bubba, you play him in the Masters, and you know what? If he doesn't play anything else, that's a good play. He's been useful.
Yeah.
Sergio at St. Andrews this year, though, that could happen. That course is short as hell.
You go ahead. You go ahead. You get after it with the surge. I'm not seeing it, but hey, I kind of hope you're right. I think it'll be fun. I had a good talk with Jay Rebel yesterday about the Masters. You guys will hear it tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. We were talking just a moment ago, and you get to hear that with Lance and Matthew from the Rising Spear there on the Rising Spear website. And obviously, the directive is without question to get a lot of people this week to decide to put their money where their mouth is to get players. I do like, now you can quibble with how long it took, and you can be frustrated by the process. You can hate NIL. You can hate all of it.
Sounded like Lance was frustrated with how long it took, too.
Yep. But I think that at the point where you come to realize that this is where we're at, and it's not going away, and that if you want to compete, and they clearly do, and we clearly do, and most hardcore Seminole football fans certainly would like to see this thing turn around, then you realize there's just you're just wasting time arguing about what ought to be, as opposed to embracing what is. And when they embraced what it is, and then they went about the process of, hey, let's go, let's get some money out there. I like the, I like the cut through the BS approach here. We need money. We need money that we can then funnel to good football players so that they'll say yes to playing football here. You don't have to like sugarcoat it, dress it up, call it something that it's not. Nope. We need your money so that when good football players are trying to decide where to play, we have something to offer them competitive to that of those that are also seeking their performance.
Well, and it's also critical. This is something we don't necessarily like to talk about too much, given where Florida State is on the map. I think it's important that alumni from big cities have started this. It's not a Tallahassee initiative where now you got to call down to your friends in Tampa, Orlando, Miami, Atlanta, wherever you want to call them, because Noles are all around, and they did a good job of explaining that. And we all know this because of attendance issues in Tallahassee, and we, out-of-towners complain about the airport and the prices for flights and all that.
In-towners complain about the airport.
I don't want to get you started.
On a daily basis.
That's true. But I think it's important because it's almost like two different networks. I know this because in undergrad, same thing for you, but my friends I went to high school with, a lot of them I went to school with up here, and now they're in Tampa, and their perception of Florida State is completely different than mine because of where they live, and they are disconnected. So I like that this fund, this Rising Spear organization, has been started by not just Noles and Tallahassee, but people all around the region, the footprint of where our alumni are. You got to go where the money is. And thankfully, they're starting there. So those conversations are happening on the golf course amongst business owners and entrepreneurs who are Florida State grads in Miami. Good. That's where the money's going to come from.
Yeah, and again, you just got to cut through the nonsense and get straight to it and realize. I do think it was interesting. I asked the question, because I think it's on the mind of everybody. It's not just Florida State. Like, as college football fans, this is an aside. As college football fans, we've wondered, well, this will be interesting because on the one hand, players are free to make money on their name, image, and likeness. On the other hand, we now know that there's a separate aspect to all of this, which is that you have to be able to perhaps promise players, if they in fact come play football at your school, that you're going to have something set up for them that is separate from perhaps this idea that you've earned a business's support. So what I mean by you got to be careful with the wording. This is a conversation we're having.
Sure.
They have to worry
You're
about
not going to be legally bound to any of this stuff.
What I'm saying is, I think, and I've said this a lot, that the players, anyhow, would be very surprised to learn that precious few, and this is true of people in my business and really just any walk of life, precious few people are really worth a business paying money to have them speak on that business's behalf. If the goal is to further expose your business to more people and in turn make more money. There aren't that many guys that have that kind of pull, that kind of sway with consumers. So if I own a car business or a lawn business or whatever you want to say, okay, I think the kids coming out, and this isn't one of you kids, I'm just saying people have this idea that their worth economically is so much greater than it is. Like, am I going to sell more cars if Florida State's, and let's say I own this car business and I'm a Nole through and through, a booster and everything else, and I care deeply about it. Okay, I want to contribute, right? How is it that my business will be rewarded, the player will be rewarded, everybody wins, the program's better because I've done this? Well, do you think that Jordan Travis, and this is not a knock on Jordan Travis, but do you think if you gave Jordan Travis money to stand in front of a sign outside of the car lot you own, you'd sell more cars? You think he has that kind of pull? Well, you have to decide that. I'm here to tell you that very few players have that kind of influence on consumers. And it's in my mind, like 99% of the people who play would not really sway anybody anyway to go get a different kind of insurance, to buy a car, to eat this food, to do any of it. They wouldn't. No player, I mean, not no player, but very few. In fact, you're better off typically with like international soccer players and people who have 1 million followers on Instagram or something like that, paying them. Like a girl from the women's soccer team from Florida State, 3-time national champions, and who has an international appeal, and you own a business where that would,
the footprints match,
right? Then you would do it, and you'd have better success than you would the right tackle at FSU.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
well, yeah, that's the thing where you've got to find the right corporate partners. And that's where I circle back again to, I'm glad this is happening outside the Tallahassee market, because what does a car dealer here get?
Right.
You know, if it's just Tallahassee, oh, you know what? I live in St. Pete. I need to drive up to Tallahassee and support this dealership that
because
supports
Malik
the Noles.
McLean
Right,
is doing an appearance there. No, right. No, what I'm saying is they can be separate. It doesn't. I mean, look, the bottom line is most of these guys, and that's not just here. That's at Alabama and other places. Like, man, you're not influencing consumer behavior. You're not. Very rarely, because you made an appearance or because you took a picture alongside a new Porsche. You're not. But you're right. There are fits, and it's up to this group to figure that out. But also, you just need the money in order to find a way to give it to this kid to come play for your school.
So where are we going with this, though, is the next question. Like, are you going to have portions of a football jersey that can be sold for a player to put their NIL deal, like on a sleeve or something, like they're a golfer? Because that would be the maximum value. If I'm looking for value as a corporation, it's about what they do on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So if Malik McLean caught 6 passes for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns, and every time his arms go up to celebrate the touchdown he scored, there's my logo.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm getting my money's worth. But if he's going to come to my my spring picnic out at Fort DeSoto,
I love this soup.
Right. Or he's coming to the company picnic at Fort DeSoto. I mean, how much does that do for me?
Nothing. Save for the 15 people that showed up.
But at least you get something in return, because if these businesses, for any school now I'm talking broadly, we're doing the kickback thing and the bagman thing, they got nothing in return, and nobody was the wiser.
Well,
At least you get something now.
Yeah, I know. If you're worth $100 million and you're giving $200,000 of your $100 million to your program every year to disperse amongst the better players who you lure through that cash so that your team can win games while you sit in the box with corporate interests who will, in fact, contribute money to what it is you do. It was a roundabout way. It was an ancillary way. And now it's direct, which is great.
In some ways, I'd rather pay the money up front if I was, that wealthy, or I was a corporation who had earmarked dollars for this, and say, if you end up big, then when you're 25, I want you to come to my company. And you're promising that you're going to do that by the time because if you make it to the NFL and you're a top 50 pick, and you're scoring touchdowns on Sundays, then I want you at my business, and you are committing to that right now.
Yeah, and again, there would be precious few whom that would apply to, and 2 who, if they have representation, would ever let them sign that deal.
Well, at 17 or 18, they might. And if I'm a company, I say, all right, I take 5 stabs at this, I get 1 right. That's worth my money for all 5. Because now
that exists now in the Latin American Baseball Network, that you have a business model in which somebody would take a chance on a Fernando Tatis, and they would say, okay, he's 16. He's doing things that are preternaturally great. People get hurt, but I believe he's going to sign a $300 million contract in 10 years. And you know what? I'm going to give him $1 million. Now, Tatis is a bad example because his dad played in the majors, but let's just say any phenom.
I'll tell you one. Fernando Martinez for the Mets was the first to get $1 million deal in South America. Didn't turn out to be much.
Right.
In fact, not much at all. But it was $1 million guaranteed in his pocket.
Right.
To be a part of the academy that he was a part of,
Yes.
which is a feeder to the major league.
Correct. So any one of those players, if you identify a guy who is a can't miss as much as can't miss can be, and you decide, and this business exists already, it's controversial, but it exists, and you decide, I think that guy's going to be a major leaguer. I think he's going to sign a massive deal. I'll tell you what, I'm going to front $2 million. I'm going to get you an apartment. We're going to feed you. And then your job is to train year round to kick ass in baseball, which you're already doing. But now I'm going to enable you to do it without the fear of having your lights turned off and your family not being able to eat. I'm doing that for you now with the bet that in 10 years, I'm taking 20% of that $300 million deal you're going to sign. Hey, you're going to get there because of me. Is that what you want to do? And if you get hurt, by the way, the money's yours. That's an investment. It goes on all the time. You see it in baseball.
Sure. Well, that begs the last question that I have. This is a general question. I don't know that it's ever been answered, but can you give a walk-on an NIL deal?
Yeah. So, right, to save scholarships. Oh, this is a conversation I've been
so that
thinking
they
about.
stick with sports-specific training all year round. What are we doing? Why are you even going to class? You know what? You don't need to. We're going to set you up with the best trainer.
Even walk-ons have to go to class. They are still students.
Well, I mean, what if
are
it's just a dude? Well, I mean,
no, you have to be part of the school.
You're paid for that, there you go. You're taking the minimum. You're doing golf class once a semester. There you go. There's your 1 credit hour. You're a student.
Yeah, Dick working at Avis doesn't get to walk over when he's 27 and play on Saturday because you gave him some money.
What if Dick is taking bowling class at the new Crenshaw whenever it's...
He has 1 class?
Yeah, 1 credit hour. I mean, what are we doing here? Where does it end?
Who made that catch? It was Dick from Avis. What a catch. Man,
how's he on the team? He's taking bowling.
He's taking bowling
1 credit.
at Crenshaw. I thought Crenshaw got bowled over. It did. Don't worry about it. Stop talking about this. The Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for better style, quality, and design. Go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
What's important when shopping at a gun store? Let's start with a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Then add top-notch service, great selection and pricing, and a personal shopping experience only found at a locally owned and operated business. And Red Hills Arms, they're right on target. While other gun stores come and go, Red Hills Arms remains Tallahassee's go-to local gun store for all your firearms needs. Stop by today and get welcomed in like family.
This is Patty Wilson.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're ready?
He's recording.
Why are you always saying your last name? It's Patty and Scott. Everybody knows Patty and Scott.
I don't know. This is Patty Wilson. I am Patty Wilson.
What is the idea behind said promo?
It's for Patty's Playhouse. We're on Patty's Playhouse Saturdays at 11. Tune in. That's stupid. Just tune in. Saturdays at 11. Patty Wilson, Patty's Playhouse. House talk with a happy ending.
Each and every time.
This is Dr. Ryan Finn from Finn Chiropractic. As a chiropractor, we correct subluxations. Here's the deal. Your brain runs the body through the nervous system. If a bone gets out of place or subluxates, it puts pressure on your nerves. These can cause headaches, neck pain, back pain, arm pain. With Finn Chiropractic, we turn your subluxation into relaxation with an adjustment. Come on by and see us or get in touch with us at finnchiro.com. That's FENNCHIRO.com. Because your chiropractor loves you and there's nothing you can do about it.
I called Swain Pools and Spas. Now I'm soaking up the fun when I want to.
I called Tallahassee Car Care and they're fixing my car when I want to.
Hey, what are you doing? This is a Swain Pools and Spas commercial.
I'm turning it into a Tallahassee Car Care commercial.
But Swain Pools and Spas is a full-service shop offering sales, renovation, supplies, and more for years.
And Tallahassee Car Care is a full-service shop offering brake and tire service, batteries, oil changes, and more for years.
But people go to Swain Pools for quality and reliability. Nobody knows more about pools and spas, and Swain has new Caldera spas in stock right now.
And people go to Tallahassee Car Care for their 5-star service at great prices, with most maintenance done by their certified technicians while you wait.
You know what? Just look for the big Swain sign on West Tharp Street, because Swain Pools and Tallahassee Car Care are under the same roof. Online at swainpools.com.
Online at tallahasseecarcare.com.
Swain Pools and Spas.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
getting to a place where, again, the weather's going to be nice enough for you to hit the beach, going to be outside, it's going to be hot, you don't want to take off your shirt, you don't want to be embarrassed. Let's get it together. Let's tighten up. Let's all get in shape. Here we go. For each other and ourselves. New members, obviously, you get a full month free with the purchase of a heart rate monitor, and first class is always free anyhow, so you can kind of decide, do I like this? Do I like this? I like that they bet on themselves at Orange Theory Fitness. They're like, you know what? I'll tell you what. Come on in here and get this class in you. Let's see what we do. Get this class going and see if you don't agree that this is where it's at. And then they trust that once you do that, you're going to go, yep, this is for me. I like it. So good. Go find out why. Go find out why it is they do that, because I promise you, you'll enjoy it. The coaching's great. Science-backed technology to show you how it is you're improving yourself in your fitness. It's all there laid before you, and the support of the other members is palpable as well. It's Orange Theory Fitness, orangetheoryfitness.com to learn more about how it works. 2 different locations in town. One of them is in Midtown. Other one's north side. So I would strongly suggest you do it. You know what I did during the break? I clicked on, a lot of times during the break, you're just making sure you're not missing anything. Did anything happen in college football, college basketball, baseball, whatever it might be? And I clicked on the college football section of ESPN to check on something. I wanted to look at the schedule because you were talking about scheduling. And it was really cool because they have it set up there, right there. Week 1, there it is. It's already up there, the banner, Tom. I know we're a long ways away, but it was just nice to look at that. Did you know the week that we play Duquesne, that you got a little Wyoming, Illinois action, a little Northwestern Nebraska right out the gates?
Northwestern Nebraska, that's at least a conference game. There you go.
That's right. I didn't know Fort A&M is taking on North Carolina on the road that week as well. Let's go, fam. I'm looking at the whole slate, Tom, because I can look at college football schedules. I don't know why that interests me so much, but it does. West Virginia and Pitt, a week later. A week later. Just like Penn State Notre Dame. Penn State Purdue, week later. That's interesting.
It is a strange game.
It is kind of a strange game. College football, we don't do this with baseball. We don't do this with basketball. I feel like we only do this with football. Something about seeing the schedule on the docket, the matchup, uniform clash in our mind, conference clash, stylistic, all of it. You're like, ooh, okay. Look at that. Vanderbilt is taking on Hawaii right around the same time we're playing Duquesne. How about that? A little Vandy Hawaii. Hawaii could win.
Yes, they could. I'm sure they will. It's probably a very good chance they win.
That's weird. We don't do that. Like I said, we don't do it with anything else.
Yeah.
We don't.
Oregon, Georgia, that first week. That'll be the day before our game. Ohio State's playing somebody of note, too, I think, that first Saturday. So, yeah. Usually those first couple of weeks, the best part about the playoff is, teams and programs have been more encouraged to get a little bit more aggressive with their early season scheduling because you can survive a loss. Mm-hmm. When they expand it even more, I think that's actually going to be to the benefit of the regular season, and not to the detriment of it, because you will be more aggressive.
It doesn't matter. You can suffer a loss or even 2.
Yes.
No, I don't disagree. But it is. It just occurs to me that it's odd that we only do that really with football. And speaking of football, plenty of talk about that today. It's interesting. I feel like if you try to honestly assess certain aspects of the team's weaknesses along with strengths, it goes both ways. If you say somebody's good, or a segment is good, or an aspect of a team is going to be better or even good, people think that you're propping them up too much, setting them up for failure, overstating the significance of their growth, whatever it might be. And if you have concerns about, and I'm not lamenting this, it's just an observation, because we're so emotional when it comes to football collectively. And I when I say that the offensive line, I think, needs a lot of work, and I'm just disappointed. If there's an aspect of the team this spring that I don't love, it's the offensive line. All the while understanding they haven't had all their pieces together all the time, and that guys have missed time. Other guys have subbed back in as another guy was leaving, and you got help on the way. Guys can get stronger. It hasn't been that long since the final whistle blew. So you still get more time this summer to get bigger and stronger and to focus. I get all of that. I just think, again, that the level of depth and talent is lacking at the position. And people take that to mean that either I don't trust Coach Atkins or I think the team is not any better. I do think the team, you ready for it, everybody? on the whole is better. I also think that Coach Atkins is a great coach. I can also say that while hoping we get better players in here to play the position that he coaches and being concerned about those that are here that he's currently coaching.
Like I said, it's going to be a long summer.
I can't sugarcoat that, man. I cannot look at them and be like, they're going to be good. No, they're not. They're not going to be good. The offensive line, they're not.
What position do you think is going to be better, receiver or offensive line?
Receiver will be better.
Okay.
Meaning the
relative to last year, I'm saying.
Oh, receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got more people that can go and actually get separation, and they can win a one-on-one battle. I think coupled with Jordan being a little bit more comfortable throwing the ball. Yeah, I think that position's better. Tight end's not better. Tight end's not any better. Offensive line's not appreciably better, if better at all.
Well, what if I threw this lineup at you? And I don't even know that this group of 5 has appeared together on the practice fields. But let's just say that development got to a place where it's Scott, Gibbons, Lyles, Washington, Harris. You don't feel good about that at all?
Say it again. Give it to me again.
Scott, Gibbons, Lyles, Washington, Harris, left to right.
Yeah, I think they're better than last year's offensive line. The starters are better. That group, if that is the starting
if
5.
That's the one. And really, that's not a wink, wink, nod, nod. I don't think I've seen that combination out there this spring yet.
You couldn't have. But I would tell you that, yes, if in fact those guys are the starting 5, and I wouldn't be stunned if they were. It's not a crazy suggestion. That, yeah, that will be a better group. Now, the second one of those guys can't play, right? You're like, oh, man. Ooh.
Right. Who's first man up?
Yeah. Somebody who's not any good. So that's, not yet anyhow.
Correct. Yeah. I can see that much.
Okay. Well, I also don't like to put a huge caveat there. I mean, there's no like savior that's waiting in the wings that's about to change everything. They're a year away. There's not. So now maybe, obviously you look at the class, and somebody brought this up on the board. Yeah, they did. They brought in some better players. You ideally do not want to be starting freshmen or redshirt freshmen on the offensive line. So you need a little time. You need time to develop those guys. That position, by definition, because again, assessment of an offensive line is the most difficult or projected player at the next level that plays offensive line. It is the hardest for the team-oriented sites and the national analysts to get right. Because, and this is the part about by definition, and that's why I said it, they're always bigger than everybody they played against in high school. They're huge. You get a 6'4" kid at 300 pounds in high school, he doesn't have to have a lot of technique. He's going to dominate the guys across from him 99% of the time. Very few Timmy Jernigans are waiting on the other side, right? You get to college, Robert Scott said it yesterday in the post-practice interviews we did. I asked him about the biggest challenges and differences from, coming from high school to coming here and developing and learning, because he was talking about being a shepherd for the younger players, right? He was talking about, now I'm a guy that's trying to teach them the ropes, and there's some good players here and I'm trying to help them out. And I had to learn that lesson. And he was thankful for some other guys that were ahead of him on the depth chart. And he said the hardest problem is the hardest thing to learn is that everybody's good you're going to face. All of those guys across from you, they're badasses. All of them are strong. All of them are as big as you or relatively. And of course, that just isn't true when you're in high school and you're 6'5", 300 pounds. You're going to just steamroll jokers. Even relatively big guys in high school. If you get a kid in high school that's 6'2", 225, that's playing across from you, that's a big person in general. That's a real big person in high school. But he's tiny compared to a 6'5", 300+ pound man. You get up here, and there's some big jokers quickly.
I found it interesting that after the scrimmage on Saturday, the coaching staff, I think it was Mike, but it might have been Atkins, said that Thomas Schrader is going to help us this fall. Like, to place that level of, I don't know, expectation.
Yeah, because he got the 15 to 20
right.
reps, whatever he said.
So it was Mike, because he was talking, specifically, it was a huge day for him that he was able to go out there and do that.
Well, I think that's true.
And that's part of the recovery process.
Yeah.
But that's a game changer if it lives up to Norvell's expectations. And I thought it interesting. He's not one to typically throw expectations on somebody if they can't live up to it. He said that for Lloyd Willis, this was a big camp. He didn't say we're expecting big things out of Lloyd Willis this spring and fall. Two very different statements. But he said, oh, yeah, Thomas is going to help us this fall. He's going to. So if that comes to pass at right guard, now you've got Darius or Bless at right tackle, and you've got one guy that you like for sure as a rotational piece. Maurice, if something goes wrong at center, you can patchwork it and get it through.
Mm-hmm.
And if Estes or somebody else develops early on, or a portal player, you can't even help yourself.
Yeah, no, I mean, come on.
But then you're at 7 or 8. And now you've got something to work with.
Yeah, there's hope. There's hope.
Yeah.
I'm not bereft of hope, as I like to say. I'm working them all in today. It's the greatest hits. Honestly, I will concede that they can get a couple guys in here from the portal to help that depth. And if somebody emerges, and I'm not saying they won't emerge, they've been waiting on Schrader. The injury was really most unfortunate. That was damn it, man type stuff when that happened. We were at that practice when it happened. We were looking at it. It was like, well, that ain't good. And we couldn't report on it at the time, but I remember staring at it going, well, damn it. And they really, I say this a lot, and it doesn't do anybody any good to wallow in it. Self-pity, that is. They're just unlucky as hell at that position. They really are. I mean, they've had any number of guys miss significant time. I'm not talking about this spring. I'm just saying in general in Mike's tenure. When they lose people, they lose it at that position. That's also part of who you're bringing in, though. That is also the Clay I talk about. I mean, that's a tough position. You got to have some hombres, man. You got to have some big jokers that are able to withstand, an awful lot of punishment.
And maybe that's a question for Coach Norvell. Maybe we'll get him on after the spring game and we could do a recap and then looking forward. Some of these players in the O-line specifically, you're talking about body types and that might not be able to hold up because it's the Clay you get. But what about the work they need to do this offseason? Get their weight up, get their strength up.
Yeah, they're guys. I hope to see a transformation. I really do.
I'll talk about Rod Orr specifically. Rod Orr is currently a project. Lower half looks the part, has the size and the base to play. Upper half, there's nothing there. What are we doing? Got to get stronger. Got to get stronger up top. And if I can tell that, then my God, what Coach Storms must be saying in the weight room.
He ought to be saying, here's your anabolic steroids, Rod. Let's get on these suckers and start winning some football games, shall we? Winning is what you'll do when you'll call my friends Chad and Shannon. As part of the legendary team at Hamilton Home Loans. That's right. Mortgage process, occasionally a little intimidating. Shannon will take the opportunity to make it as easy as possible. It's straightforward, honest communication, transparent communication. It's a recipe for a 5-star mortgage experience. Of course, they have the best in cutting-edge technology, best rates. You're going to get a different kind of mortgage experience when you deal with Chad and Shannon from Hamilton Home Loans. You want to learn more? You maybe just want to give them a call and say, hey, man, welcome to the JCS family. 844-FSU-LOAN is how you would do that, 844-FSU-LOAN or homeloans.com. That's FSU homeloans.com. It's not home loans. It's FSU homeloans.com.
Your local news now.
A suspect wanted in a Hayhire River death investigation is now behind bars. Devisha Johnson was arrested on outstanding warrants on Monday around 4:55 p.m. for the murder of 51-year-old Darren Ron Roberto Williams. Agents said Williams and Johnson had known each other for several years. Johnson requested through someone she knows to call 911 so she could surrender to law enforcement on the outstanding warrants. Governor DeSantis signed House Bill 3 last Friday, providing a $5,000 bonus for new law enforcement officers in the state. Staffing shortages in police departments and sheriff's offices have been a nationwide issue for the past couple of years. TPD currently has 30 vacancies, down from a peak of 38 during the height of the pandemic. TPD offers lateral transfers and bonuses up to $11,000, but the new state law is an added boost. The new law also includes scholarships for law enforcement agencies and money for training for officers who move to Florida. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Scattered thunderstorms likely this afternoon, otherwise overcast skies. Highs around 82, south winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Scattered thunderstorms likely tonight, lows dip down to about 63. Cloudy skies expected. Slight chance for scattered rain showers tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 75, clear skies and quiet. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 77.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
It's Congressman Michael Waltz on the Greg Tish Show.
Good morning, Congressman. How are you doing?
Hey, doing well.
Again, just what you have to go through day in and day out. I don't know how you have hair left, or like Matty Rowe, just completely bald.
Hey!
Sorry.
And the irony of it all, the progressives are the tail wagging the dogs. This whole bipartisan White House is a joke. We're just watching them eat their own.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeffkin Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road, and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Day is, in terms of weather on Saturday, it's going to be perfect.
It may not even touch into the 70s.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That Hotel Indigo show is going to be fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Good cool breeze.
Yeah. Not for any bad reason. I went to bed on time last night. No, I'm not sleep deprived in any way. I know many of you are concerned, so that's why I bring it up. But I woke up 4:40 on the dot. But 4:40 on the dot is fine if I was out cold, deep slumber by 10:30, and I was out cold. I went to the back with the idea I was going to read my book. I got 2 pages into my book, Tom. Bam! Done dealing. Much to the chagrin of my wife. It pisses her off that I can lay down, pick up my book. It's right there on the nightstand. I'm like, I'm going to read a little bit. Ooh, that's it. Then I fall asleep. She can't. She's like, look at this. This done.
Yep. Yeah. This is what used to happen to me in high school. President's Day weekend was always a big one for my family from up north to come down.
Mm-hmm.
We'd play in a family golf tournament, and it was a big to do.
Yep.
So my Uncle Mark would stay with us, and he'd stay in my room because we had 2 beds in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And Uncle Mark could do what you did, what you can do, which is
straight to sleep.
Right. So, but he would snore like a train whistle.
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't snore last night. No snore.
Right. So my goal was to get in bed early, and it was this anxiety-ridden thing because I'm like, I've got to beat him. I've got to beat him to
if
this.
I don't fall asleep,
and
he's
he's
going to
like,
keep me up all night.
Hey, Thomas, good night. But I was like, I guess I'm on the couch. But circle of life, I now do that to Jamie.
You fall asleep in 2
with
seconds.
a train whistle.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Forget about it, right?
So we pass it on. We pass on the suffering.
So I fell asleep, but that meant that there it is. So I've got a full 6 hours, a little 6 hours plus. That's I'm good. You give me 6, 7, I'm good to go. I prefer 8, but I don't know if the
6 plus a snooze cycle with the 10 minutes there.
I don't ever hit snooze cycle.
No, I'm just saying that's what you got.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's what I got. Yeah. So what I would tell you is this: I woke up. I'm like, oh man, time's 4:40. And then I got up, snuck out of the room, don't want to wake my wife up, walked down the hall, shaved my face, shaved my head, all before 5. How about them apples? Got a first cup of coffee in me by 5:15. Petting the dogs' heads by 5:20. Let them outside, fed them. I thought it was going to be pouring. This is all to talk about the weather.
That's what this is about.
Then I saw the weather report. I checked it because I was like, what do I?
And you went out and did a 3-cone drill before putting clothes on. And your neighbors were cheering you on.
Oh, no. All that fluffy.
It's the Greco-Roman himself.
Yes. So what ended up happening was I checked it and I went, how about this? We've got a high of like 68 on Friday with a low of 44 or 45, and then a perfect day for the spring football game on Saturday. Oh, man, is that going to be good. How about that? Sorry, just thought I'd let you
That's
know.
fine.
It's a perfect
You might
day.
not have an audience at Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Friday for the happy hour because they're going to be outside on the deck.
I don't need an audience. I need people to show up, eat the food at Corner Pocket Bar and Grill because it's delicious. Get you a tall, cold one. Check out the Vegas wall. You can be on the deck if you want to, but you could be watching Major League Baseball, the Masters,
That's right.
and hanging out with us. Our thanks to Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Of course, they're the presenting sponsor for our golf tournament, the Jeff Cameron Show Warchant Invitational. And, of course, it's a charity tournament benefiting the second harvest of the Big Bend. Engage, feed, educate. Thanks, Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. We love you. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, they're going to host the post-round banquet. They'll have the buffet for all the golfers. That is a full event, by the way. It is a full event, we are proud to say. And everybody in attendance at the event is going to get an awesome tumbler.
I saw the tumbler.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
like it. Yeah.
Co-branding logos, and then it's got the CP on the other side. So
Yay, tumblers.
we've got a lot of good things in store for everybody who's playing next week. We hope you all enjoy.
Eric asked something a while back, and I didn't get to it. I promised I would, and so I'm going to get to it now. And it had to do – oh, there it is. Thanks, Eric, for your contribution, and I appreciate you to listening and supporting us. Masters Tournament, Tiger, Brooks, or the field guys? Well, in that scenario, I'd take the field. I do think Brooks will play well. Then he writes, go Noles, fix the damn offensive line. Yeah, but we're trying. Jeff and Tom, tall boys, sure thing, this Friday. So you told me as you walked by the hall here before we came back on the air, you wanted to amend Eric's question.
Yes.
Broaden it or whatever it was. What was it you wanted to do? Let's talk about it.
Your name's on the marquee. You get the choice here. But I was going to expand Eric's question, which is he's basically saying, would you take Brooks plus Tiger or the field? Well, that's an easy answer. It's an easy answer. It's the field. But if I was to give you, say, two more players that you could take in addition to Brooks and Tiger, any two you wanted, would you want to draft those two players and then give me the field, or would you want the field and it's my job to take two players of my choice?
The way to answer this question is if you're being a smart bettor, you would take the field. But I'm not going to be for the entertainment purposes of the show.
That's why you're an entertainer.
That's right. So I will draft two players. You ready?
In addition to, so you got Tiger and Brooks in your group. There you go.
You ready for my draft?
I am. Bated breath here.
Joaquin Neiman.
What? Oh, my goodness. Matthew, I've won.
No, Joaquin Neiman. And now, are we going? Oh, no, my question is, well, so I have to try to win the tournament?
Just winner. Winner
Just
takes
a winner?
all.
Oh, I got no chance to win this bet.
You want to amend your Neiman pick? Swing for the fences a little bit more?
No, Joaquin's going to be in the top 10.
May I interest you in a Dustin Johnson?
No, I don't want Dustin Johnson at all. You have him all day. No. Okay. Well, then if we're going to do it where I have to pick
perhaps a Harry Higgs?
No. Justin Thomas and John Rahm are my two.
Good choice on the last one. There you go. Good anchor. Good anchor.
Yeah. No, I'll do that. Those are my two. And by the way, people keep talking about Rahm's putting. It's not his putting. It's his chipping. And if he gets closer to the hole, he's better than everybody else in the world at everything else. Besides, Justin Thomas is better an iron player. So is Colin Morikawa. But if you collectively put their games together, it's John Rahm all day long.
So the whispers around Augusta are that he's fixed the chipping part of his game.
I'm telling you. And there's a lot to love about that dude, man.
Yeah.
I like him. He's
but his strokes
hoss.
gained putting, I mean, I get what you're saying. It's all relative to how close you are to the hole.
Yeah.
But still, strokes gained putting, he's over 100th in the world now. And he was, top 50 machine.
Because, again, he's trying to make 35-foot putts. He's got to get a lot closer. I mean, if he fixes that, it's going to change everything. Colin Morikawa is not a good putter. But when you're only having him putt 5-footers because your irons are kick-ass, then, you look like a good putter. You know who's going to be good this week? And he needs to fix his short putts because his 10-foot and beyond putts are no problem. Will Zalatoris he finished second last year here. This course suits him perfectly. Just don't choke on those putts, man. Those little 3-footers. He misses little 3-footers. Did you see what Spieth
He signs his name in the backstroke.
Did you see? Did you see what Spieth did at the Valero? 3-putted from 1 feet.
He did?
Yes.
Oh, man.
He saw it. You didn't see that?
No, you would have gotten a call. I was like, guess what Jordan just did?
Oh, I was watching it. That just happened. He went over to tap, and he just wasn't paying attention. You see pros do that sometimes. He just wasn't paying attention. He was mad that he left the first one short. He went over to tap, and he missed it, and then he missed the comebacker because he was disgusted. The announcer goes, "What is he doing?" I'll play the audio for you. It's awesome. The answer goes, "What is he doing?" It was uncomfortable. But you know what? Tee to green, he was brilliant.
Yeah. Plus 7 strokes gained.
His new practice swing is unwatchable.
They even have it in the Titleist commercial.
I can't. It's unwatchable.
It's like a Chuck move.
Stop doing that. It doesn't even look like he's ever played golf before. I don't know how he hits the ball doing that. I'm still mad about it. It shakes me up. I can't watch it.
Speaking of that, the hole where his rounds have gone to die at Augusta is not necessarily 12. It's the effect of 11. He hates that tee ball. Hates it. You can tell. You see what they've done to 11?
Yeah,
they shaved it all down. There are 3 trees there, so now it's just a pitcher's lane. That's no big deal. You can miss there.
You know what's weird is number 1, and Tiger's terrible on number 1, and a lot of guys are. I stood there, in 2018.
You've been there?
I have.
What?
I even went into the cabins and spoke with Jack. That's a true story.
Jack Daniels?
No, I wish. No. So when you first walk out there, it is unreal. It's one of the very few places. I was telling our friend Brendan Seminoles this yesterday. His brother's there right now. And I said, it's one of the few places that I've ever been. The Rose Bowl's the other that I've ever been where
Cooperstown.
I love Cooperstown, but I don't know that I had unreal expectations for Cooperstown. The way they talk about the Rose Bowl, both as an event and setting, you thought you were in heaven, right? And I always roll my eyes. I was always like, well, come on, man. It's a football game. But then you and I got out there, and then when we stood on the field and the San Gabriel Mountains behind you and the sun set, you're like, yep, this is unreal.
Well, I wouldn't have been as impressed the next year, and it's not because of the result of the Oregon game.
Yeah,
it's just the kickoff time. You didn't get to see the full effect.
Beauty, but it was still awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, we went down on the field before both games. I went down on the field before the Oregon game. Was standing there. And,
I did too.
Yeah,
that's when O'Leary got hurt. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Damn it, still hurts me.
I haven't had a tight end since.
No, but point would be.
Well, Izzo was okay. Sorry.
Point would be, that place lives up to and surpasses the hype. Very few things do. And so we're used to being disappointed, whether that's somebody hyping up a movie, whether that's a player that's coming out of high school and he's going to be, the second coming. Very few people. Augusta surpasses everything you've heard. And I was cynical driving there. I was like, there's no way. And then it was.
So I saw a shop online. I was just looking at certain things because we had a mutual friend go up there on Monday, a few mutual friends. And they said, do you want anything? And I said, honestly, I think I want to break the bank when I can go.
When you can go.
I appreciate it. I'll wear the hat that you got me tomorrow. I only break that out special occasion.
Yeah.
But I looked online just to see if there was a catalog that if I had to have something, I was like,
that's the one. You're right.
Please get me this. It's like $350 for like a normal friggin' windbreaker.
So let me say this.
Or is that really the price out there?
No. Okay. So here's what I'll tell you. Yeah, no, you're going to wear it if you go. What I'll tell you though, is they make everything else so cheap. So if you're lucky enough to get a badge, however you get it, when you go in, it famously, obviously the beers are $2, pimento cheese sandwich is next to nothing. I mean, it is remarkable. Everything, they have a lot of items to choose from and they're all very cheap. I mean, you can gorge yourself.
No, I get that.
But when you go into the gift store, you're going to get.
Well, yes. Okay. So I didn't realize the blue thing that I always wear for the Ryder Cup, and I'll probably wear it again this weekend because it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my money's worth out of that thing because when I looked at the line item, it was $275. I'm like, what in the hell?
The T-shirt I wore yesterday, which we weren't together yesterday. I don't know if you saw my Masters shirt that I wore yesterday.
It was also part of the interview.
Right.
Yeah.
I only wear that once a year at the start of Masters Week when the first practice round is happening. And I wore that yesterday. And then tomorrow I'll wear this other Masters shirt. The shirt I'm going to wear tomorrow, and I don't say this as braggadocio, is ridiculous. That shirt is just nothing more than a very nice polo that one would wear at a sophisticated, nice golf club to play golf in. Yeah, I think it was $175.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. You're like, okay, that's what we're doing here. But you can get a reasonably priced hat.
like $40, something like that.
Yeah. Probable's short today. I'm glad we kept going. By North Florida Payroll Services, of course. Go ahead and cue it up, and then I'll give the read.
Time for, how you say, with the pitching probables?
Oh, tomorrow when we do this.
Yeah.
Tomorrow when we do this, it's opening
There'll be
day,
one game in
baby.
play if it doesn't get rained out too.
Woo-hoo. Oh, yeah. North Florida Payroll Services, locally owned for nearly 15 years, offering payroll and HR services, including full online applicant onboarding and integration into payroll. Save your company money and headaches today. Head to northfloridapayroll.com. 30 seconds. Phillies, Rays, Rangers, Suarez, Luis Patino, Orioles, Tigers, Keegan Aiken, Tyler Alexander. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Thanks, everybody. Be well. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.